fund to fund and department to department.
Well, I was reading on that. It was one of the questions the Daily Herald gave. I heard everybody said how great the city manager is and how much he's done and how much he's accomplished. What he was saying is that it will help him to be able to react right away in order to have that power to be able to say, I can do this and do that. I am one to listen to what the people say, what they decide. But if we have a city manager that we pay $100 and something thousand to make decisions for the city, I think we ought to give him the best tools that he can use, or whoever that is, to be able to accomplish the things that they say. And then I believe if they're not doing that, then we make a new thing and we change that. But that's supposed to be on the ballot, I believe, whether we decide to go that way or not, and whatever the community decides on that.
KISD has this thing called Home Access Center. So you can go in and you can check your kids' grades. I don't know if anybody else uses it. It's a really great tool. My son is 13. He's in middle school now, and I decided to let him last year go ahead and try to manage his own homework. And I got his first progress report, and it wasn't good. And I decided, you know what, that was enough of that. So now I have to go in and I have to check on his grades and his homework and see what's going on. The city council's job is just like the parents when it comes to homework and the budget. I'm my son's parent. It's my job to keep track of his homework and his grades. As a city council person, it is our job to keep track of the budget and the staff, that includes the city manager, making sure that the money is being spent properly, the budget is being controlled the way it's supposed to be. That includes going from one fund to another fund. That is one of the key points the auditor said we weren't paying enough attention to. Why should we keep going down that same street again?
First of all, the city manager runs the city. And he's the one that sets the guidelines and gives it to the city council for reviews. Last week, one of the city council women had a town hall meeting that gave you the opportunity to come and meet every executive member that runs this town. 10 people showed up. That was your opportunity to find out exactly how the city rolls. You need to get involved with your city, and then you'll be more knowledgeable. I just feel like since I've been going to the city council meetings, it has opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'm a K-COP graduate. It has opened my eyes to how the police department runs and the fire department runs. And if you have not gotten those involved in things, you need to get involved in those.
Do you believe there should be more or less oversight of the city manager and budget allocations from fund to fund and department to department?
How that issue works is the council at the end of the fiscal year do a balanced budget or a non-balanced budget. They give it to the city manager. The city manager works that budget throughout the year. What I think what you are asking about is the council is getting briefed quarterly, 6 months, biannually, and yearly, and getting audits. Yes, this council do. The reason why people keep going back saying what has happened in the past, that is no more. Dr. Farris and Mr. Olson fixed that. We're talking about the past, we're talking about today. We do not have a budget financial crisis in the city of Killeen. Mr. Olson has fixed that and continued to put policies in place. And yes, I support that mandate for him to work. I do not know how to run a municipal government.
I've been dealing with city budget now for almost 12 years. We have a good city manager now. And I'm talking about a city manager, a certified city manager, who took a city like Corpus Christi and put it upside down. He knows what he wants. You're going to hear, I'm very sure you're going to hear from the next person, I go line by line item. But the other day, it's not going item by item number. That's not the idea. You have the opportunity to go item by item number. Go to our website, the budget's right there. We speak so much about the budget, but the budget's right there in our city website, where you can see it, item by item. We can download it, we can walk with it, we can see it. The city manager gives us a budget, and we, the city council, we get together, we look at it, we work on it, we do workshop, and we all come to decide if it's a balanced budget or not. Once we get done with our budget, we give it back to the city manager. City manager runs the city. That's why they call him city manager.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between micromanagement and checks and balances. That is what got us into the mess that we're just not getting out of. I spent the last 2 years cleaning up someone else's mess. You all paid $394,000 for an external audit because you had no faith in our governing body. You had no faith in our city leaders' ability to manage your hard-earned taxpayer dollars. I'm not going to micromanage a city manager that has a pay package of $280,000 because I voted against. And yes, I do go line by line because those are my hard-earned taxpayer dollars, just as yours. And I want to see where they're being spent. This city manager is unelected. I'm elected. I'm accountable to you and to you only. And so it's important that we as council members know what's going on, but also can be held accountable. So intra-departmental transfers are within departments. Inter is between departments. And no on Proposition 1.
You know, history is to make sure that we don't repeat things that were bad and we don't do them again. So I am against that as well. I think, Mr. Olson is not the issue here. It's the faith that the people of Killeen have in the governing council. And as I go around talking to people with what happened a few years back and with the audit and whatnot, we still need to be able to be open and transparent as much as we can. So we need to keep it that way and not try and change things right now until we gain, or the council gains, the full trust and faith of the city, of the people of the city of Killeen.
I do understand that budgets are already allocated and funds are already set aside for each department. But I kind of liken it to a two-parent household, and as Mr. Johnson said, it's checks and balances. So in a household, you have a husband and a wife who keep each other accountable. And, I have all the respect for Mr. Olson in his position and in his place. But in the same token, we are accountable at the end of the day to the people. And then if something happens to the funds or funds are hidden and $50,000, I'm sorry. If you hide funds from 10 departments, that's $500,000. And you guys would be livid if funds came up missing or misappropriated. So I vote no on that.
Thank you. I guess I'm the odd man out here because I'm not on the city manager's praise bandwagon. The citizens of Killeen elect the city council to do their job. The city manager is not an elected official, he's an appointed official. Good salary, but he's still appointed. Elected officials should be dealing with the funds that are raised in the city. If they want to transfer money from one department to the other department, they should come to the council, present why they want to do this, and the council votes on it. To have one individual decide on his own, that's not even an elected official, just an appointed official, to say, okay, we're going to take this money from here to here, and then decide to tell the council at the next meeting, which might be a week later. It's already done. So, proposition number 1 is a no for my vote. Thank you.
In reference to this, I will echo that the city council is the checks and balance for this system. Now, I've got the document here and I was reading. We're familiar with the fact that we had an audit. Listen what the auditor said. He said the city manager should create and the council should adopt policies requiring the city manager to obtain city council approval for all major interfund transfers. That's what the auditor said. So I respect the job that Mr. Olson is doing, but I'm going to go with the auditor because we know we had some issues. $8 million was lost, misplaced, transferred, moved, whatever you want to say it was, that's fine. We need some checks and balances, and we need some transparency. We need to know when you get money for a fire truck that burnt up, and instead of putting it towards a new fire truck, you put it in the general budget. That's irresponsible.
From experience with these things, I tend to be rather pragmatic about it. I don't want to make your eyes glaze over on accounting, but let me tell you, the city has 5 funds. Those funds receive every cent that the city gets. Underneath each fund, there are departments, like police and fire. And the amount of revenue that the police and fire get, 0. They make none. Everything they do is an expense. So what that means is, if money goes from the fire department to the police department, you know what the net impact on the budget is? 0. Because it's all expense. It's all coming out of that fund. Now, if you're moving money from Fund A to Fund B, the council better know exactly how much is going and exactly why, because that's significant. Because those budgets are balanced. Going from the police department to fire department, 0. There's no impact. Now, to learn about why it's going on, that's why you have transparency. That's why you have submissions and discussions with the city manager on why it's happening. But if he needs to make a move, he needs to make a move. The council's in charge of the revenues and expenses of the city. The funds are revenues.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that the citizens of Killeen will be able to vote on this on May 5th and make a decision. And I will certainly honor that decision. The bad news is less than 5% of our citizens are going to vote, and that's very sad. Thank you. Personally, I'm for keeping things just the way they are. The city council is an oversight body. And as a city council member, I can delegate responsibility, but I can delegate authority, but I cannot delegate responsibility, and I want to have the authority if I'm going to be responsible, and I will be. Thank you.
Okay, we are running out of time, so we're going to have closing statements now. 1 minute.